Hi, it's Etharal here, and today we are back with the newest episode of our Let's Play series for the Stellaris Twilight of the Imperium mod, or the Warhammer 40,000 mod, where we have been playing as the Tau Empire, and we are certainly getting to the point where Empire is the appropriate name to be using for us. We have an increasingly large amount of sectors. I do believe we have about 5 sectors or so now, and we have another one which is pretty much entirely on the way. We've established 3 new colony planets. As you can see there, we have Encras, Thingy, and Tunis. I'm not going to pronounce that middle one, it didn't quite go very well there. They are all right next to each other, and they are going to basically represent an entire new sector for us in the very far east. To the north as well, we've got the Gath sector, not the Geth sector, which has been expanding very, very efficiently there, and has got a lot of potential to be moving further into that one. Although we do still need some colony technologies to be able to really make use of that northern border area, but we'll cover that as and when we do manage to get to it. And here in the Far East, we are getting to the point where we are taking pretty much all of the land up, and we are going to be pushing right up against some various other nations. So there's a lot of options that are going on, a lot of expanding. We are, I think, now at the point where we could really begin to start threatening those Eldar guys who we had originally been worrying were going to become our enemies. They are somebody that, for the minute, they're okay. We're fine. We've got no threat from them. They're not going to try and attack us. I mean, you can look down in the middle right, you can see our military power for our fleet, 140 ship size. In effect, it's got 17.5, near enough 1,000 strength. So that's a fleet that's, nobody's going to want to tangle with that anytime soon. It is a very, very good fleet, and we do have more than enough naval capacity to be actually able to look at maybe even turning a new fleet out and starting to split it so that we've got 2 fleets. Although one thing I do tend to find with the Paradox games and the style of the game, it does actually seem to serve you better to try and have everything in one big one and hit them with a heavy hammer, rather than actually trying to hit them multiple times in smaller areas. That way they tend to just come and mop up, whereas if you have one big force that just comes in, they can't really stop that, and you just sort of steamroll through them. It just seems to be a quirk of the way of doing things in the Paradox way of doing things. Crusader Kings 2, Europa Universalis, now Stellaris, they've all got that it works for them basically. So I'm going to stick with this one for now, although I will probably get a secondary one, a smaller one, not as major as the first fleet, but certainly enough to be able to threaten them. Here as well, just jumping back to the colonies and everything, you can see that this in the far western area of our lands has expanded really nicely. It's actually gotten to the point where this is now going to be establishing up a whole actual sector of a fair few lands. There's a lot of research as well in there, which is going to be an interesting one, or not a lot of credits and minerals, which is a slight disadvantage to it, and I think that it is going to be a case that it will probably struggle a little bit to be able to get in enough resources for it to actually be of any use. And it does seem like these 3 planets over here are ones that they don't seem to want to actually let us be colonising them. So I think we're going to probably have to put a border frontier in there just to grab those extra ones, depending on how it is that it obviously goes with money and how much the cost of them is going to be. There as well in the north, we've just gotten a new planet as well. So we are expanding very quickly, and I think we are at the point where we are going to look at probably doing a preemptive strike on the Eldar, rather than waiting for them to actually attack us. We're going to move in against them, just have a little tryout of a war, see how it is our fleet goes and rivals up against them. I can't imagine it having too much of a problem. The fleet size is, very, very strong, something that I don't think they're going to have too much to really be able to, respond to. But we'll give it a go. I've not actually done a war in this game yet. I've mainly just focused on tech, guys. This is what I normally like to do in the sort of space simulator style games, is tech people. But we'll see how that goes. I might take it slightly differently. I might do a little bit more. I don't know. I'll come in, take it as we go, see how it goes. Maybe try a bit more of a military way of doing things. You never know. So though that's that's going to be in the next couple of episodes here. More than anything, I'm just sort of setting everything up, making sure I'm getting ready, and also as well, I want to try and get the rest of these colonies established. I don't want to have some weak colonies that have only just been established for when I start a war, because they're just going to be prime targets for somebody to be able to take nice and easily, and that's the last thing that I want to do. I do not want to make it so that they're an easy, simple target for these guys to be able to just go, right, we're going to steamroller into this, get a load of war score, and then, the actual tower going to be in a pretty big bother. We're not going to try and even do that. We're going to build up, we're going to make sure we're nice and solid first, and then move on from there. At least that's the plan. That's where we're going to take things from, and then we'll move from that one once we know exactly what's going on with that one. Here, just gonna have a look around. You can see these guys to our west, completely inferior to us. They are of no threat. These guys equivalent, although their fleet power is now inferior, so they have a weaker fleet than we do. That's going to be very, very useful for us, and going to be a very key thing to keep in mind and remember that one, so that way as soon as we are ready to attack, we know that even just this single fleet, which is now up to over 18,500 strength for it, you know, that's going to be able to barrel into them no problem. They're not really going to be able to do all that much to be able to prevent it, which is the situation that we want them ideally at, and a situation that they are really, really, really going to struggle with. So that's the plan at the minute, and we'll take it from there and see how everything goes. We are hoping to get a few more technologies, maybe be able to expand into some other colonies after that, and be able to take their lands maybe even as well, and to be able to take their lands to a point where, you know, we can actually do something about it, and, you know, we can actually use those lands to the full effect, maybe get a whole new sector out of them, which is a sector already developed up and everything, which would be an ideal situation to find ourselves in, especially if we started to bring some Eldar into the greater good. The Eldar, an ancient race, very, very powerful, very psychic, and bring them in to the Tau, who are a very young race, and they are not psychic at all. They merely completely rely on their technology, which the Eldar do as well, but they have a very different style of technology. The Eldar rely on a style of actually having psychic technology, the Tau just very basic technology. So I've always thought, and it's a thing I thought when I was a lot younger, and I said to a lot of my friends, was, could you imagine if the Tau and the Eldar actually teamed up, and you had that combination of the advanced, proper, what we'd consider sort of mechanical technology, and then mix it in with the actual advanced psychic technology of the Eldar? I think that would, you know, they'd basically become unstoppable with the combination of those two. There you can see that is our fleet just being built up. So anyway, getting back to the actual game itself, and that fleet, you know, not really something that we have any more real need for, but we are still going to continue to, you know, boost it up. Might as well get it up to 20,000, I think, at least. And there you can just see we're trying to sort of explore, but we really are running out of a lot of options. We are getting steadily, well, not even steady, we are getting increasingly closer to the late game. We've managed to expand. I've done a lot more expansion than I normally do. I normally like to stick with quite tight, condensed research sort of races and empires, although because of this need to do the mineral farming, and that's how you get a lot of your resources in this game, including your research resources. It's become clear in this game, you're going to need to expand. You're going to need to expand quite quickly, and you're going to need to grab a load of land, and I think that's going to be the biggest, easiest benefit for anybody in this game. At least that's my personal opinion. If you do have any other opinions yourself, do be sure to leave them in the comments below. If you've got any other techniques for this game, I'd love to hear them out. Obviously as well, if you do want to subscribe, please do feel free. I love getting to interact with all of you, and I obviously want you to make sure that you're getting your notices for when my new actual episodes are coming out, so that you can enjoy them as well, as much as I do enjoy getting to make them for you guys. So getting back to the game here, we're just trying to have a bit of a jump around here, and we do see there, you can see that these guys, some new guys, have decided to drop a frontier world inside of us. Well, not inside of us, but right on our border. Not too sure where they are. They're somewhere down south. They certainly don't look like one of the immediate guys, so it's a little bit of a strange one that they've decided to put a frontier place there. It would seem to be literally just to block me off and try and prevent me from actually being able to expand any further. Well, I can tell you straight away, we're not going to like that, and we're not going to allow that. That is one that we're going to have to deal with and resolve that. And I think we've just found a new enemy for us for in the future. More than anything, literally just to be able to sort of go to them and go, hi, you put land next to us, not going to have that. That was supposed to be our land. You now need to remove that. That's going to be the plan. Although that is, again, that is a sort of distant goal, and that is a long-term thing. We will probably have to take things a little bit slower than being able to just do that, unfortunately. I wish it wasn't the case, but that's unfortunately just the way things have to be sometimes. So here, just expanding here in the north, the one is quite useful. I can send my constructors into my sector's lands to be able to build some new stuff for them. And here, just trying to have a look around some technology trees. I mean, there's not really any technologies that particularly jump out of me anymore as anything I need. I'd love to get some more colony ones. These are more, feel like I'm at the stage now of it's more of incrementally, slowly, very, very slowly improving my actual, guys, rather than quickly improving things and doing big jump ups in technology. I feel like the technology in this game is, a lot more incremental in general. It's, not something that you're doing a lot you know, you're not seeing big, sudden, massive changes. It's more of those consistent little changes, which is another way of doing things, is a perfectly fine way of doing things, and is sometimes, you know, is an interesting way of doing them, and not a bad thing at all. Now here, we're just going to send as well our fleet up. I think it's going to be a time to start testing out this fleet, seeing how it does go with 156 fleet size. It is more than a little bit powerful, to say the least, and you know, I think it's going to be one that we're really going to be able to get have a little bit of fun with. So we're going to start with, first of all, we're going to use it to remove some of these actual NPC enemies, or sort of like, you know, they're just random AI enemies, people who aren't actually affiliated with anyone, see how they go and attack, you know, those, and then from that, we'll then, after having tested all of those out, we're then going to be able to look at moving and actually bringing in the fleet into the war with the Eldar, which is literally what we're doing. We're just trying to bloody them, get them nice and experienced, know what we're doing with them, test to make sure that this fleet works, and then we're going to move on the Eldar again, as I say, as that preemptive strike, and truly test out the wars. Like I say, not something I've done before in this game. I've done a lot of Wars in Crusader Kings 2 games and Europa Universalis games, so I've got a pretty comfortable idea of how they're going to work. But, you know, with them being obviously having to invade planets and things like that, not just move in and then besiege the solar system itself, going to be quite an interesting one. It's not something that, like, there's going to be some differences in there, basically, and that's going to be something that's going to be quite interesting to try. Here, it wouldn't look like there's been a load of extra building as well that I've been having to do, so, you know, just going to go around, want to make sure that our planets are working as absolutely efficiently as they possibly can, make sure they are benefiting the Tau Empire and the greater good as much as they possibly can, and they can always benefit us more, really. Here as well, we're just sort of dotting around now, just making sure that everything's sort of really just going exactly the way it should be, and everything's just continuing nice and steadily, and more just sort of ticking over at the minute, and we're nice and comfortable with everything, rather than, you know, trying to force stuff maybe more than we should, or maybe more than we can, and things like that. And I mean, I'm happy enough with that. I think it all works as a way of doing things, and I'm going to continue doing it from, you know, building up from there. And like I say, just take this a little bit slower, make sure we're nice and, you know, in a good sort of state here. I can't see, you know, really, well, I could go into diplomacy and see where the Eldar have any allies and things like that, but I'm not really doing that. I think everyone's pretty isolated in these games, more so than sort of like your Crusader Kings 2, where it's more about families and family alliances and things like that. So I want to take things just a little bit slower, just, you know, and be able to make sure I'm in a good situation to be able to attack them, basically. So here, we're going to now test out, see exactly how our fleet goes. It's not a small fleet by any stretch of the imagination, very, very powerful fleet. And we're going to see how long it takes them to wipe those guys out. We're also as well going to start moving in that science ship, so that way, as soon as these guys do take all these guys down, they're already moving in to be able to actually go and benefit from these, you know, this extra surveying area, basically. Now, you did see as well the fleet. I mean, that look at the green compared to the red in the like middle left. We were just smashing through them, no problem. And this is a problem here we have had as well with our colonies, that unfortunately, because of the way our colonies are, and we're trying to colonize so much, the influence is going, and that is meaning that these guys, as they're passing away, unfortunately, we don't have any influence to be able to just straight up replace them, which, not great. You know, it's going to slow down our research for a little bit, but, you know, we're not at a bad, you know, 41 and getting 4 every single month at the minute, so, you know, it's not going to take us long to replace him. It's not going to be as quick as I would like. I would like to replace him straight away, but hey ho, you can't, you know, can't have everything, unfortunately. So here, I mean, everything's in a pretty good position, I think. I mean, I'd love to know your opinions. I think I'm ready for a war, and I'm certainly going to give one a try, I think, in the next episode. Although, let me know what your opinion is, how you think everything will go in that one. So I'm going to pretty much leave it there for today. So thank you very much for watching. I've been Etharal here at EGN. Do be sure to subscribe if you like this video and for more content that I'm putting out every single week. And so I shall see you next time here at EGN.